rest of me. Don't even know what's left of me. I wish that I could figure out.
Alex Vargas mag dan wel de Deense nationaliteit hebben. Hij is in Nederland eigenlijk net zo bekend als in zijn vaderland. Een van de deelnemers aan The Voice of Holland zong ooit zijn nummer More, waarna die single in de top 100 kwam. Sindsdien heeft Alex hier steeds meer fans gekregen en een speciale band met Amsterdam opgebouwd.
The first time I came here was to play a free show at Hanneke's Boom. That was like 8 or 9 years ago. But since then I've played here a bunch, and I even lived here for 8 months, up until early spring 2018.
You and me were meant to be together.
De reden dat we Vargas spraken was omdat hij net een nieuw album uit heeft. Big Big Machine. Het is alweer zijn derde plaat en deze klinkt toch wel even anders dan de rest.
Well, Big Big Machine sort of really started to form for me when I realized that I wanted to chase the sound of the 60s and 70s in my writing. That's a couple of years back now. It's like two or 3 years ago that I decided to kind of chase my favorite kind of music in the writing and then worry about bringing the production and the sound of it up to date. So I kind of allowed myself to just make an attempt to follow in the footsteps of some of my biggest heroes. So I've obviously listened a lot to David Bowie and Elton John and Billy Joel and the Beatles and so on, and Carole King, and yeah. I feel like I've opened my arms and turned myself towards the crowd a bit more. My last album was quite introspective because it dealt with some really heavy emotions. And now I feel like I'm able to, I don't think I'll ever get away from talking about big emotions in my songs. It's kind of ingrained in me, but I feel like I've managed to sort of repackage it a bit and put it into songs where you might even be able to dance to it. And I wanted it to be an album that invites people in a bit more.
Bij een nieuwe plaat hoort natuurlijk ook eruit springende cover art. Voor die van Big Big Machine geeft de zanger zich helemaal bloot. Op een, interessant hoofddeksel na dan.
Lost at the bottom of a candy bowl, we're fresh out the rush where we found gold.
We had finished the album and we sat down to sort of brainstorm on how we were going to approach the visual side of things. And I think everybody was ready to put 200 ideas on the table, and that flower mask was the first thing that was brought up, and I loved it. And the whole thing, I thought we were going to do other things like it, but when we reconvened, all the ideas that we had, they all kind of revolved around this fucking mask. And to me, it makes sense because it's a flower. It makes it look like I'm in bloom, and the way I feel like I've kind of grown creatively. And then someone suggested I take my clothes off, and on that particular day I was up for it.
Klinkt op zich best logisch, want zeg nou zelf, heb je ooit een bloem met kleren gezien? We hebben zo het gevoel dat Big Big Machine Alex wat extra fans gaat opleveren, aangezien het album goed ontvangen is. En dat is iets waar de zanger erg gelukkig van wordt, want de fans, dat is waar hij het allemaal voor doet.
It's quite an amazing thing when a stranger comes up to you and tells you about their experience with something that you've made, and it probably, most likely, means something completely different to them than it means to you. But I love that. That's what it's there for. It's open for interpretation, and people should make songs their own. You know, it's when people take ownership over your music, that's when there's a real connection.
Er staan vooralsnog geen optredens van Alex Vargas in Nederland in de agenda. Maar houd de zanger vooral in de gaten, want gezien zijn voorliefde voor ons landje is het gewoon een kwestie van tijd voor hij hier weer eens ergens opduikt. Wil je nog meer artiesten ontdekken? Ga naar de Insta van Wall of Sound en blijf ook daar op de hoogte van de laatste muziektrends.